What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Surf Tip Saturday, episode number 6. I know it's been a couple weeks since our last episode. We were traveling in Nosara. Had some technical issues as well with last week's, but here we are back again, answering your questions. Remember, if you want to see your questions answered, you put them in the comments of this week's video, and we answer them next week. So lots of thumbs ups. Yeah, we came back from the contest, Nosara. It was fun. Gonna have a video up really soon, so be sure to subscribe and check that out as well. You guys got anything to add? Shaka gear. You can get your Shaka gear. Click the link. Your spread shirts or your t-shirts, so you can look cool like us.
Oh yeah.
Anything else? Any other housekeeping?
Nope, can't think of anything.
All right. So first question from Josh Rubin. What thickness wetsuits should you wear for specific ocean temperatures? And you guys have never worn a wetsuit, have you?
Never worn a wetsuit.
So I've surfed in wetsuits some, and I'll tell you what I like to wear. When the water starts getting chilly, or even sometimes if the water's warmer and the air is chilly, first wetsuit I put on is a 2mm spring suit, short leg, short arms, lots of flexibility. Just kind of keeps your core warm. It's 2mm all the way through, and I'll surf that anywhere from, like, depending on the air temp, starting around 70 degrees to about 65. And if it's a really hot day, you know, I'll wear that. If it's overcast and cold, or the water starts getting colder than about 65, is when I jump to my full suit, which is 3-2, which means 3mm in the chest and back, and 2mm in the arms and legs to give you a little extra flexibility. And that's going to be long sleeve, long legged, and you can get all kinds of accessories.
Have you ever worn a wetsuit before?
Never.
This is all Greek to us three right
Yeah,
here.
they have no idea what
have ever worn.
They all
I've
surfed
worn a
in
wetsuit
Hawaii and Costa Rica their whole life, so.
Not even a rash guard wetsuit. A thick rash guard.
Well, for the rest of us, it's surfing cold water.
So.
You can get your booties. Your booties are usually 2 to 3mm. You can't surf with cold feet, so it's really awesome to have. You can get the, what are they called? The
H-bomb?
stuff for your head. A hoodie. And then when you get under 60 degrees, you know, and this is stuff for me, you know, that's when you can start switching to like 5-4-3, so 5mm, and then it's a little less in the legs and arms. And then all the way to super cold water where you can get 6mm wetsuits or like dive suits, and that's for surfing pretty frigid water. So
I will confess that I have been in a full suit once, and that was in New Zealand. I borrowed it from somebody, so I have actually been in a wetsuit, but these guys have never.
So, hope that answered your question, Josh. So, next question from Rachel Larenko. I don't know your name. Is it good to start surfing with a soft board? How do I know if I'm ready to surf with another board? Coach Moy?
All right.
I've never surfed a soft board. He surfs them all the time.
Here's the deal. We have a surf camp here, as many of you know, and we have a couple soft top boards, but we really don't use them a whole lot. I would say that they are great for maybe your first experience, second experience, children, because kids are small and, you know, big board, hard board. But I try to get people off soft boards as quickly as possible, and probably most of the time I don't even start them on soft boards. If you learn board management properly, then you won't need one. But your first experience is good. The thing is a soft top board will develop bad habits because you don't pay the consequence. If you go to your knees, you're not going to bruise and bang up your knees like you will on a hard board, and it's going to basically teach you that it's okay to use your knees, and that's a big no-no because once you start using your knees in the pop-up, it's a very difficult thing to break. So I would say as soon as you can, get off a soft board. Take a lesson with somebody who can show you board management, and you'll be good to go, and you can move on to a regular fun shape or a longboard in no time. Board management.
By board management, he means being able to control your board through the waves, through the breaking waves, so you're not losing it and hitting people with it, hitting yourself with it, right? That's kind of what you mean.
Board management should be something you learn in a first surf lesson if the surf instructor has experience.
Or you can come surf with us, Shaka.
Yeah. Come on down.
We'll teach you. We don't use top stuff. All right. Competitive question for our... By the way, we didn't introduce Lorenzo. You might have seen him in our other videos. I feel so horrible. This is Lorenzo, Shaka Surf Team rider, and he's going to answer a question for us today because he thinks he's our star. He really doesn't. You know, that he's getting blown out. Anyways, from Lisa. I've been surfing for 12 years, so I'm an experienced surfer. I've wanted to go to some serious competitions lately. Is there an age requirement? Someone told me you have to be 21, and I'm only 19, and I think we do some pretty serious contests, Lorenzo included, all of us included, but
All right, Lorenzo, let's let Lorenzo answer this.
Well, you don't have to. There's no age limit in competitive surfing. The younger you start, that would be even better. If you start really young, you'll get the grip on it and be able to, like, once you grow up, you'll know how competitive surfing is, what the competitions are like. It's basically the younger you start, the better. So there's grommets, 14 and under, mini grommets, 12 and under. Then the other way going up, there is boys, 16 and under, junior, 18 and under, and open, everybody. And same guys and girls. And then longboard, big boards.
So those are the standard categories that you'll find at a standard competition, but I don't know, I had mentioned this before, you can compete up. So if you are, say, 14 and under, you can compete in the open if you're good enough. If you're 12 years old, you can compete in the boys, juniors, and open. So you can go up in age, you can't go down in age.
And the thing about competitive surfing, I mean, if it's you're talking about, you want to go to some serious competition. If it's a serious competition, they don't care what age you are. If it's an open event, they'll take your money for the entry fee and put you in the contest. There's no real you have to qualify for most of them or anything like that. If you're willing to pay the entry fee and have the spots, they'll put you in the contest. You just can't surf against people. So if you're 19, you can't surf against in the 12 and under division, obviously.
Yeah.
Besides, those kids are usually really good, and this would be super embarrassing if you lost, don't you think?
These guys, within the next week or two, are going to do a tutorial on how a standard surf contest works. So make sure you subscribe, because right now we looked and there really isn't any information on how the rules and that work for people that are kind of interested to learn about getting in or how it works. So pay attention over the next probably week or so. They're going to do a kind of a tutorial and show some examples of how a surf contest works.
Cool. All right, next question for our Tua, our barrel rider. From Vinay. Well, what makes some ways barrel and some not? Some places I surf almost never barrel, and some places sometimes barrel, some places barrel all the time. So, talk about.
I think that when
Move up to the microphone. There you go.
I think that if it's really low tide, and at some places it'll barrel more at low tide. Usually at high tide it won't barrel. And if it's if it's offshore, then the wind usually will hold the wave up sometimes better, and then it'll hold up, and then when the wave breaks, it'll barrel. Or at reefs, most reefs barrel because it's really shallow. The reef is really shallow and it gets deep. And then when the wave comes in, it's it goes from deep to shallow really fast, and it makes the wave barrel.
Yeah.
So what makes a wave barrel? Well, there's probably the two main things is shallowness and offshore wind. Right?
Yeah.
That's the two main things. I mean, there's a lot of different components, but when it all boils down to it, shallow water and offshore winds are the two things that kind of create a nice barrel.
Cool. All right, what else we got here? What are some of the best ways, from Josh, what are some of the best ways to find surf reports near you, certain apps or websites? I'm probably the one that does more of that, so the ones I like to use, there's really two that are my kind of go-tos. It's one's called surfline.com, one's called swellinfo.com, and both of them, you spend some time looking at surf reports to figure out, what each individual site means and how they break down the data. But really, to find local reports, if you live in Cornwall, England, if you just Google Cornwall surf report, you're going to find somebody who probably knows how to interpret the data for your particular beach much better than a really, really large site. So I would say, just pop it into a search engine, the name of your local beach, and surf forecast or surf report, and you can find local sites. And then you take it, with the other bigger sites, ones like Surfline and Swell Info that I mentioned before, and you look at them all together. And then after a while, with surf forecasting, it's never 100% accurate. So after a while, I have my couple sites, I look at all of them, and then I kind of have my own interpretation of how it relates to where I surf here every day. And I think that's a really good idea, learning how to try and find surf forecast sites and things like that. You can get apps on your phone for that. You asked about apps. Oakley has one that's done through Surfline, so you can put in, you find your local beach after you download the app. It's completely free. I believe Surfline does as well. That
Magic
one.
Seaweed has one.
Magic Seaweed is another good site. So we'll put some links.
Yeah.
So you can check out the ones that I like to use. So. All right. From Christopher, what causes pressure dings on the bottom of the boards, and how can you prevent them from happening? And you said that most of yours kind of end up being in one spot on your inside rail. So, Chris, you want to grab this?
Well, I think we could all kind of answer this a little bit, but the description that you're saying right there sounds a lot like something that happened to one of my epoxy surfboards, and I think he mixed the epoxy a little too hot. And if you don't coat it, mix it properly, it can become weak, or if you didn't cure your board, they may take on pressure dings a lot earlier. So it's important to make sure that you have a good glassing job and that you cure the board properly. So that's one of the things, is if it's not glassed properly. The second thing is you actually do get pressure dings on a choppy day going fast, because your board's kind of going like that. And of course, Lorenzo just dealt with a bunch of dings. What would you say?
Yeah, well, like for this question, I would think it's more like what he explained. But as your level of surfing progresses, you'll land on your board harder, you'll try more radical maneuvers, all kinds of stuff. And that causes lots of them.
Yeah, sometimes you don't even notice, you just fall off, the board kind of bumps you. And it doesn't have to hit you super hard where you're bleeding or something, but it'll put a ding in your board. I'd say most of mine on the top of my board are obviously from like my knee, from duck diving, where my front foot lands, there's lots of dings, or gets more pressure dings because my foot's there every single time, pushing hard on the board. And it's actually just kind of crushing the foam down. And the ones on the bottom, on top of surfing, we do it when we transport the boards a lot. You put it in your car a lot, you're not careful, banging around in the back of your truck, whatever. That's a good way to get pressure dings as well.
Little tip that I don't know if this still is used, but when I was a grommet, like to his age, and we'd get a pressure ding.
When was that?
Blow dryer, hot heat, pulls out the pressure ding. I don't know if that works for epoxy, but it used to work for polyurethane boards. When you're a grommet, you want your board to always look as good. You see a pressure ding, it's kind of annoying. Like, I hate that, looking at that. You can try it. I don't know. I mean, ask your shaper if that's recommended. It might actually weaken but the foam compresses, and that basically decompresses the foam. Cool. Try it out.
All right. One last question for me, since I'm the lone longboarder. From Jack Sawers, how do you get out the back on a longboard? Well, I'll answer the question quickly and then kind of refer you to a video. First off, we have a video on turtle rolling. Turtle rolling is an excellent technique to get out the back and get through bigger waves. There's also a method of punching through the wave, where you basically paddle straight at the wave. When the wave comes, you push your board through the wave, your body up over the white water, and basically try and stand your board so that you can continue paddling before the next wave gets you. In short, the best advice I can give you without you watching any other videos, which you should watch our video, is first off, on a longboard, when I'm going out, especially if I know the waves are a little bit bigger, I'll walk out as far as I can. So if I get to about, waist, stomach deep water, where I'm ready to get on my board and start paddling out, I look to make sure that there's no sets coming. If I see a set coming, I'm going to wait, just let it pass, and wait till the ocean calms down a little bit. And then the fact that I can paddle my longboard really, really fast, much faster than people can paddle on a shortboard, I use that strength of a longboard to my advantage, and I try and dart out the back and get there before the next set comes. If that's not possible, again, we can use the technique of punching through or turtle rolling our surfboard, which is where we flip over, let the wave energy pass, get back on, and work back out. It takes practice, and sometimes getting out of the longboard can be a pain, depending on where you're surfing and what kind of wave you're surfing.
Practice. Keep surfing. Watch our videos.
Yeah. You guys got anything else to add?
Not much. Stay in touch. Keep on watching.
Stay in touch. KIT. Keep in touch.
Actually, if there's anything that you can think of that you can't find on our channel, maybe a video or a question, something that you'd like to see, not just maybe answered in a question, let us know, because we're always looking for ideas of videos to make. We plan on making another 100 videos over the next year, so we need lots of ideas and questions. So don't forget to thumbs up right here, somewhere around here. Hit that thumbs up.
Thanks guys.
Right on, guys.